Welcome back. Another edition of Down and Back with CornDoug. This week, fantastic show. A returning guest, one half of the doubles team that took down the Pro Invitational, the ACL All-Star Game, All-Star Tournament, if you want to call it, from the weekend. Ryan Smith on the show. He's back to talk cornhole, how he's been doing, how he's kind of had to climb that ladder, getting better, and his whole bag change for this year. So great talk with Ryan Smith coming up. Other than that, live cornhole has returned to, I can't say Canada because Sean in Newfoundland's been going, has returned to Ontario with Peterborough, Aliston, and Aurelia going back live, playing live. Great seeing that there. I know for Moondog's one of his first times in going, and I want to say Aliston, he had like 20 first-time players out playing, which was fantastic to see. With some other older names playing. I know George Vargas took down the win, I think, in this fun little tournament that he had. But still, great to see some new players out and playing, and some of the older players still kind of got their stuff. So congrats to them on out there. Peterborough started up this week. Adam over there in Peterborough. Great seeing Brian St. Thomas looking fantastic in that new Octane shirt. Can't remember just who won that. Actually, Johnny Parsons, former guest on the show, looking mighty fine in that shirt too. But yeah, for them, so them getting that off and going is fantastic. Great to see. Sean, he's still rolling in Newfoundland, getting his stuff going. We had familiar names still going up there with them. You know, Graham Kavanaugh, Dion Kuza took the win with new player in that there. Let me see here. Justin Vinicombe getting the win with Dion Kuza. I believe it was their Wednesday night league for them. So nice to see a new name come up there. But yeah, still they've had the regulars up there with, like I said, Graham Kavanaugh, Dion, Sean Sabine must be starting to throw better because I'm starting to see his name at the top. Jeff Walsh, another new name at the top in Newfoundland. So it's just great to see a lot of new players getting in there, starting to climb up, getting the better point averages. So yeah, so congrats to all of them. Getting the word that Essex is starting up in a couple weeks. Got the word from Evan down there in the Essex Cornhole Club. Yeah, so they'll be able to start up, and then got the word down just yesterday. KW should be back soon. We're going back in. We're going to stage 2, which means I think we can have the 25 people gathered outside. Could get something good going on here, so have to find an outside venue for that there. And then we can start playing live, maybe get some live feeds going. I don't know, just saying. But we'll see. Get some of that there going. So hopefully we can get back playing and be able to talk about live cornhole, because that's what we all want to talk about, get back and do. Put Cleveland out of our memory. We haven't played anything since Cleveland. So yeah, so that's that. As always, show sponsors. Can't do this here without the show sponsors. Octane Cornhole, octanecornhole.com. Discount code CornDoug, get yourself 20% off. MyEarfun.com. Discount code CornDoug, get you 20% off. JC Cornhole. Talk to Jamie at JC Cornhole. Send him a message. Tell him CornDoug sent you. You might get something off. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on what the way Jamie's feeling. And then, as always, if you're in the Alberta area, Sherwood Park, precisely, give Darren a call or even check out his Facebook page. Give him a like. Tell him that, hey, you heard about it on the show here. Sierra Property Inspections on Facebook, or sierrahome.com. I believe it's going to start coming across the bottom here in a little bit. Yeah, just check him out. Check all his stuff out. He's always giving tips on Facebook as well too, what to look for in a house that you're purchasing, or even your own house that's you're currently in, to see for any kind of stuff you need to have done or watch out for. So check that out with Darren. Give him a message. Send him a message. Give him a like. Make a comment on his Facebook page saying you heard on the show. He would greatly appreciate it, getting the word out about that business in Sherwood Park, Alberta, because we know cornhole is in Alberta now. Yeah, so we've got some new cornhole. We got ACL Cornhole on the weekend. The pro shootout in the King of Prussia Pennsylvania, Valley Forge. You heard Bernie talk about it last week. It was the site of Canada's greatest accomplishment in cornhole. JC Cornhole's Jamie Cowan, Scott Sullivan taking down the Australians, then running into that OK team, Hisner and Henderson. What do you know? But yeah, on an ESPN broadcast. So great for them. Geez, that's almost 2 years ago now. That's actually no, almost 3, because that was 2018 or is it 19? My brain is COVID gone. But anyway, with that, so yeah, some great cornhole weekend. As I said, Ryan Smith, Cheyenne Renner taking down the that All-Star tournament. Great to see that. I'm so happy, and I talked to Ryan about it on the show here. So happy to see him finally break through, because he had that little stretch where, he was getting that dance, but just couldn't finish off, and just so happy that he could. So, without further ado, here is my talk with ACL Pro and ACL Pro Invitational, one half of the ACL Pro Invitational champion. ACL's got to make these shorter names for some of the stuff. But anyway, here is Mr. Ryan Smith. And here we have the big winner this weekend, and a guy that I can call a friend, even though I did almost beat him if I would have had that 21 points a couple years ago. Ryan Smith. Ryan, how you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on the show, Doug.
Well, you know what? I'd seen that you got that big win because, we talked about off air, there's some other people that may have doubted you a bit on another show, but you kind of came through on the weekend.
Yeah, I first let me I just want to say shout out to Pablo of 21 Cornhole for the jersey. Thanks, man, and Rich and Graham for the hat. BG. But yeah, as far as I listen to all the podcasts. I look at all the predictions. I look at all that stuff. I don't comment on them. I just look at all of it just for my own sake. I just store it in here somewhere and just try to keep that in the back of my head when I'm playing and things. Use it as extra motivation.
So, and then as we did talk about off air as well, too, being up here in Canada, I didn't get a chance to actually watch live. I just was able to see highlights. But you and Cheyenne, so obviously you had to have been happy to have her as a partner with how well she's been throwing.
Yeah, she's amazing. She threw lights out. I don't know if she realized it until she went back, but the last 2 games of that Pro Invitational, she threw an 11 PPR. She was. She made it easy for me, so she was lights out.
Well, exactly, yeah. So you guys did take down the I guess we can call it the All-Star kind of game for cornhole, or tournament for cornhole, but obviously it has to be a bragging rights tournament for you guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun and stuff. We chatted and things, but everyone was still competitive. Everyone still wanted to win. They played it as if it's a regular pro doubles or singles event. So it's national broadcast, so everyone still wants to play well and try to win. So it was definitely everyone's playing at a high level.
Yeah. So for anyone else who hasn't seen it, who did you kind of match up with, or actually have to play in that tournament?
So our first game was against Sheila Roy and Damon Dennis, which it was, I guess a lot of people had us as the favorite, but they came out swinging early, and we were down 18-11. And I hit a huge shot to bring us back, and we ended up squeezing it out. So Damon Dennis and Sheila Roy, and then Rocky, Alan Rockwell, and Cameron Belvin. And then the finals was Jay Rubin and Sarah Cassidy.
Yeah, well, and really, for if anyone's seen who was all in that tournament, you guys didn't take a back door at all with the people who you had to play.
Oh yeah, no, it was every matchup was you had to bring your A game. So.
Yeah, which I feel is kind of perfect for you, kind of getting into Worlds, which we'll talk about Worlds kind of a bit later. But that's just like the perfect segue, that one last big event before heading to I almost said Cherokee, but to Rock Hill.
Yeah, no, it feels good to get a win and it be on a broadcast. So it feels damn good.
So then the other thing is then, so you did talk about the BG sponsorship now. With you had that bag change at the start of the year. Well, I guess since the last time you were on the show, you've had that bag change going from all cornhole to BG.
So yeah, with BG, I mean, there's still bags that's similar to the all slides that I used to throw, but the carpet bag is the huge difference. It gives me, the luxury of throwing a bit tackier bag, playing a bit more defense, and a bit more controlled, which I've been throwing for the most part this season, and it's been working well for me.
Well, and again, like we talked off air a bit, for this season, you kind of started off a bit slow, right? There was some issues with you weren't making the finals, but then all of a sudden, Cheyenne Renner comes, and you pair up with Matthew Morton, and like I said, I kind of mentioned on one of my shows here, after seeing you playing with Matthew that tournament, because you guys were you were playing in finals all the time. Then after that next tournament, you were lights out at least for a pro shootout.
Yeah, so I think it was like last minute that I got up with Matt for that tournament, and I've played with Matt before at different tournaments and things, so I know we'd mesh well for that. But yeah, I threw really well in that tournament, and then I want to say that was sometime around the Erie, the first shootout, maybe. Yeah. I gotta check the dates, but that might have been somewhere around there leading into Erie.
Yeah, because then I luckily for me, there was a lot of people were following you as well too, so I got to watch a lot of your games, and I think I even messaged you that one game that you played against Matt Guy was just you were the robot that game, because you were focused on the boards, and you were just you were taking it to him.
Yeah, I was determined to get him. I've played him. I think that was my third matchup against him ever, and he said me. I was 0-2 against him, and I was just like, all right, we're gonna shoot it out here. I'm feeling good right now, so it felt good to get a win over him.
Well, and I think with that tournament, it was another where you didn't take the back door, although is there really any kind of back door when you're playing anyone in the pro division? But you had Matt Guy, then you went like Eric Davis. I think the only fire guy you didn't get to play was Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie ended up getting me at another shootout, I think the Albany shootout. But that day, it was Brett Guy. I mean, not Brett Guy. It was Matt Guy, then it was Eric Davis, and then Brett in the finals, which he ended up beating me pretty bad. Right.
Well,
we won't talk about that.
Well, no, like I said, if you would have got that game against Brett, I was ready to say Ryan Smith is now the extinguisher, because you would have been putting the fire out.
Yeah, that would have felt pretty good.
Well, and then that really has kind of catapulted you along. You started making finals. You were starting, really starting to kind of, I think, get your game on after that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought of myself as a contender and things, and I've made a few broadcasts now, and then it's just I'm getting stuck. Like, all right, I'm getting to the finals and I'm losing. It's like it's repeating itself. So going back to the Invitational with Cheyenne, it felt. I mean, it wasn't a shootout or it wasn't the pro doubles, but I mean, it's still a pro Invitational. It was a national broadcast, so it felt damn good to finally get a win on a national broadcast. So I'm going to take that momentum and everything and take it into the next event, which is next week in Atlanta. So,
well, and like that wasn't an ESPN2 event. It was a main network ESPN event. So you waited for the big stage. That's all that is.
Yeah. So, and
then did I see, was it on Twitter or Facebook that you may have had the secret sauce, which you said you kind of now you know what you need?
Yeah, I decided I needed to do something different. It's like, all right, I think I'm maybe a little too tense leading into these things. So had me about 3 or 4 Bud Lights. Felt good, loosened up a little bit. I think that might have did the trick. Well, did a little talking to myself, so I think that might have helped me.
We do call it the performance enhancing beverage.
Yeah, so, there you
go. But yeah, so it's that helps. Plus, you can say, hey, those other guys that I'm using your sponsor, so let me take you down.
Yep.
So you had that season now coming. You've had the pro shows, but there's also the opens, and I haven't had a chance to get to an open yet. Just I think our border's going to open up in a couple of weeks here. We can finally get down there. But your thoughts on this new kind of open format? How I guess just your thoughts on that.
I mean, it's pretty cool. It gives people that aren't in the pro division a chance to compete against pros and show like, hey, I can do this too. So there's a lot of there was I can't name the number of people, but there's a good amount of the open events where it was won by pro players. So in that aspect, it's great, and then pros can also throw two against people, top contenders, people that's good that just aren't in the pro division. So it's a level playing field. I mean, you're throwing against anybody, so it's pretty neat.
I think that first, I think it went like the first open was Steve Bernasette won it, who was a first year pro. No one his name really wasn't out there on the whole national stage. And then I want to say, like, I think Alex Rawls in Florida won an open, and then Berkeley Paired won an open. So it's, it was those guys to see that they're coming up to play, and just kind of, I don't want to say to put them on the map for next year.
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, a lot of people locally, you already knew who those guys were anyway. Yeah. But yeah, to win an open event like that against top end pros or well named pros, that says a lot in itself. So I think it's really neat.
And I think the open format really showcased the ACL of the anyone can play, anyone can win, because you've seen those non-pros up in level 1, and there may have been a few times I've seen a pro down in a level 3.
Yeah,
right.
Which is,
it's just because there's some throwers out there that that maybe don't want to be in the pro division or don't have the time that can still get these other big tournaments.
Yep. Certainly, that's definitely a factor in it. You see that all the time. There's guys like, man, they're putting 4 in after, putting 4 in a row every single time. You're like, you're not a pro. It's a lot of that. In almost every state you go, there's a handful of players just like that.
Yeah. So with that, with coming into the Worlds, then for coming up here in, I guess we're about a month from now, it'll be finishing up. But your thoughts going into that?
I'm feeling good. I'm confident. I'm trying to. Last year at Worlds, I kind of face planted, so I'm gonna try. I'm trying to take all the momentum this national broadcast win. Hopefully, I can capture a couple some shootout wins leading up into, because there's a few shootouts before the Worlds at the first week of August. So hopefully, I can get a couple more wins and riding high coming into that, because I got high expectations for myself. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Well, then now your pro partner, if I'm not mistaken, then is Eric Anderson, correct?
No. So
or will you be playing with someone else?
Eric Stowe. So Eric Stowe's a somewhat local guy. I actually didn't declare a partner this year, but I think his partner had some things come up, so we ended up able to get 3 nationals in, so we could still get in the standings and stuff. So Eric Stowe's who I'm finishing the season off with.
Okay, yeah. So and that's, I think I was able to see him a couple games of him, because from being up here, I'm just whatever's on Facebook or seeing on Facebook or the ACLDN is what I get. So for people that don't know him, what kind of player is he?
I mean, he's solid as he gets. He's under the radar, but you better bring your A game, because he's beat big name players before, and I know what he's capable of. So I feel totally confident going into a match with him as my partner. So you definitely should bring your A game if you're playing against him.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing I love, is that there's so many great players, but then looking towards next season here, the silly season. I know you probably can't say much about what kind of plans are for next year, but I did see on Facebook that a possible partner you had in the last weekend, I guess you can say, says she's looking for a new partner for next year.
Yeah. So yeah, I've talked with Cheyenne. So yeah, there's things. I mean, a lot of people have been hitting me up. I've been talking with people and stuff. So I'm trying not to ignore all of it, but at the same time, I want to focus on this season because it isn't done yet, and I want to get the best finishes and stuff, and then switch over to looking into partners and trying to get all that stuff squared away, because it kind of rolls into, like, after the Worlds, it's like we got the shootout, and then the next season sort of rolls into it. So you kind of have to start thinking about it, but at the same time, you don't want to just get your mindset on next season and sort of just throw the rest of this one away.
Well, exactly, and that's where I think Cornhole is now, been seeing everyone post on social media. Cornhole has now become into that pro sport, how we now have a free agent season.
Yeah.
You know, for lack of a better term, because now everyone's like, okay, I'm looking for this year new player. You know, everyone's on 1-year contracts, and they're all, you know, seeing where they're going to fall.
Yeah, so yeah, like Matt and Jamie last year, I'm sure there'll be more surprises, partners flops, things like that. I mean, I see that coming every single year, especially after that. Yeah, I would not be surprised if there's some other big names that pair together and people, yeah, just switching partners and things like that, trying to, you know, maximize their chances of winning.
Well, and you know, and that whole switchover, because we're always like, you know, where's the new players going to fit in? And now, you know, seeing this week here that Tyler Poitras is going to hang it up and retire from his professional cornhole career, but yeah, you getting those open spots and the changes around like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of big name players who are, you know, talking about stepping down and reevaluating things. So yeah, it's always interesting when you get scenarios like that, because you're like, okay, I wonder who such and such is going to partner with now and all that. So it's pretty cool.
Well, and now talking about that there with him kind of backing out is I've seen a couple things online this in this past week here where people are talking about how pros kind of juggle that work thing and being able to get out to all these events. I'm talking to the pro now, so what's that struggle like with trying to balance your whole life, work, and cornhole?
Yeah, so it's definitely tough, you know. That's part of the reason why at the beginning of the season I was unsure what I was doing, and I just had a lot of things going on. I just turned 30 and such. But yeah, taking time off from work to try to get to these events is tough. I don't know. People probably see me at some of these events. I have my laptop usually in my cornhole bag, and on Friday events, sometimes I got to log in because I'm technically working from home. So I'll log in and send a couple emails, check a few things in between games or matches, or when I got a little downtime. But not everyone has that luxury. So yeah, it's very hard, you know, to take off every Thursday, Friday, or Monday to go out to these things. So it's, aside from the actual 4 national events, you just sort of got to like pick and choose for these shootouts. That there were 8 of these things, so a lot of people couldn't go to all of these. So you're just picking and choosing the closest ones or which ones you can get off and maneuver around. So yeah, it's definitely a task in itself, trying to figure that out.
Yeah, because I'd also seen somewhere where someone had posted that almost in that same kind of thread, but on their thoughts, there were probably many players in the pro division that were going to be up to like making 6 figures, but I'm not sure we're at that caliber yet where players are going to be into that much money.
I mean, it's getting there. It's getting there. The payouts for the CBS shootout itself is pretty big for both singles and doubles. So I mean, and then, you know, the ACL just put out the payout for next year, the pro division, $1 million. I mean, it'll probably go over that once you add in blind draws and all these other random things, and who knows, more sponsors that come along. So it's definitely turning in the right direction. So a player making 6 figures off of cornhole alone it's very likely. I mean, I see, yeah, there's people I see hitting easily over 50, 60 this year by the end of the season. So next year, someone hitting 6 figures, could be very well likely to happen.
Well, I know, which is, you know, great for all of you guys and be able to get that more focus. I think the more money, I don't want to say the more money coming in, but would kind of really kind of help with focus on players.
Sorry, you say that again?
No, my thing got kind of mixed up there, but just the more money coming in from sponsors and being able to put out more stuff for prize money will attract those other bigger, better players coming to the ACL, and then actually get more eyes on watching you guys.
Oh, certainly. I mean, yeah, money talks. So yeah, the payouts go up, more people are coming. I mean, you see the broadcast, you see the payouts. They put them out there for everyone to see. So I mean, who doesn't want to play cornhole, drink beer on ESPN, CBS, and make a lot of money doing it? I mean, who doesn't want to do that? I mean,
exactly. Yeah, it's, you know, and I think you are one of those guys that I think has that capacity to be able to do that.
Yep.
Just from seeing this weekend here. But so we talk about, just to kind of flip back to the Opens again for a second, because I kind of thought about it, but you got Atlanta coming up here. How differently are you going to prepare for Atlanta, because it is an outside event?
Oh, I love outdoor tournaments. I'm looking forward to it because I know it's going to weed out a good amount of people who just don't throw well outdoors, whether it's the wind or other factors. They just don't throw well outdoors. Those people either aren't going to come or aren't going to perform well. So I'm looking forward to it. This is, I'm like, let's do it. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I'm hoping for windy conditions. I'm ready to go. I got my Panama Jack hat ready. I got my tank tops. I'm ready. Ray-Bans. I'm ready to go.
I would say that I'm one of those guys who doesn't throw well outside, but you have firsthand knowledge of my throwing inside. It's not much better.
The outside is tricky. I mean, you got the wind, the sun. You got a whole bunch of different factors going on out there. So I mean, it is a bit tricky, but I think people who are able to throw a hard, flat bag have an advantage in outdoor tournaments because your bag cuts through the wind.
Well, exactly, yeah. So I want to wish you best of luck in upcoming Atlanta, and I'm hoping I can maybe make it down to the finals. If not the finals, I'm probably going to head to Florida for the shootout final, and hopefully be able to see you there. And be able to maybe play a couple games, get a little redemption on you, maybe get 1 point instead of getting the 0. But just best of luck in everything that's coming up.
Thank you. Yeah, sounds good, man. I appreciate you having me on the show again. And yeah, take care.
Okay, talk to you later.
All right.
And I want to thank Ryan for coming on with that. It's always he's one of the great guys, and I kind of joked that we did play a doubles game, so there was another end that was going on, but I was paired up against him, and he did take my partner and I down 21-0. But just a great guy. I've been able to, and I often talk about the ACL pros like this, is that they're real people. They'll sit and they'll talk with you about stuff, because I can message Ryan anytime, ask him a question about something or how he's doing in a tournament or just kind of what his thought process was in any kind of shot that went on, and he'll respond back, and we kind of make these cornhole friends. Some are online, some we've actually seen, but once you actually get to meet some of these pros in person and talk, they're regular great guys, and I love having them on the show to get their perspective on what's going on with the game, kind of behind the scenes with the ACL and being on TV. And it's just like I said, I'm just so happy that he finally did get that breakthrough win, because like I said off the top when he came on, there was that other show that doubted him, and you don't doubt Ryan Smith, because he, like he said, he kind of compartmentalizes that there and just kind of keeps it in the head and just uses that as a chip on the shoulder. And it's funny how so many players do have that chip on their shoulder, that they're not getting the credit or whatever, but it kind of gives them that motivation, and not that they don't really need it, but yeah. So congrats to him, and thanks again for him coming on the show to talk with me. And I hope I got the chance to play with him again soon, because it's just, like I said, he's a great guy. It's just the way he talks here. It's just the way he is when he meets you in person. He's a fun guy to be around. So with that, another show wrapped up. And as always, there's a like button where it's probably right around here, I think. And there's a subscribe button over here. Hit those there too, the like and the subscribe. And then even further down below is a comment. Leave a comment on the show, what you think of the show. If you want me doing something different, or you like a part, let me know. And and as always, check out if you can't get a chance to watch this year, there's audio versions on Google, Spotify, any place you think you may find an audio podcast, you will find the Down and Back. I'm everywhere out there. So just go there, download, even leave a comment, follow that on there. You'll get all the info coming up. And there's even a few on there that are non-video podcasts of shows. I know people are still getting on that OG Team Canada from when we went down to Cherokee back in 2018. Feels like forever ago, but But yeah, so that was a fun thing. So as always, watch out. You got Atlanta coming up this weekend, as I talked with Ryan about that, an outdoor event. I'm not sure if it's this weekend. Maybe it's next weekend. It's coming up soon. We'll just say soon coming up. And he's an outdoor event, which should make things fun. Fun outdoor event. And yeah, so till next week, as always, watch out for people throwing that gas, because they might just kick your ass.